So we're gonna do a video of this now. See what's happening in the world. It's called Channel 4 News. This is good.
Yeah, it's good, yeah. If you need to use the toilet.
Let's see what's happening in the world. Should we do it? Robot, you need to watch this, you know. We need to see what's happening in the world. Maybe it's just how it is, really.
First, Russia's drone incursion over Poland, and now this large-scale land, air and sea Russian and Belarus exercises just over the border from Poland. This afternoon in Brussels, NATO announced its response. Eastern Sentry, they call it, upping the defence of the alliance's eastern flank.
The reckless behavior we have seen from Russia is deeply dangerous. Our assessment of the incidents on Wednesday is ongoing. And whether or not Russia's actions were deliberate, Russia's violated NATO airspace. Therefore, we must, as NATO, make clear our resolve and our ability to defend our territory.
In addition, France is sending fighter jets to bolster Polish air defences. Responding to these Russian-Belarus military manoeuvres, Poland promptly closed its border with Belarus today.
Ta decyzja, o czym mówił pan premier Donald Tusk.
This decision, as Prime Minister Donald Tusk said, is a response to issues concerning Polish security related to very specific aggressive military exercises against Poland that are starting in Belarus.
Które się rozpoczynają.
Day after day, drone after drone, Russia's attrition rains down upon Ukraine. This was Sumy in the northeast, close to the Russian border. So what of the man who promised the world he'd end this war in a...
So, you see that? It's been a terrorist. So on the news, BBC 4, what's it called? Channel 4 News. Silly boy on them.
What?
Yep. Yeah, it's Channel 4, not BBC 4. Silly boy. Wait. Yeah, there's a fire. And they had to put it out for a terrorism.
Russia's attrition rains down upon Ukraine. This was Sumy in the northeast, close to the Russian border. So what of the man who promised the world he'd end this war in a day? To date, his attempts have failed utterly, leaving him today mouthing more threats to Russia, so vague, they're almost meaningless.
So is your patience run out with Putin?
Yeah, it's sort of running out and running out
Donald
fast.
Trump.
What is clamping down on Vladimir Putin's?
Well, it'll be hitting very hard with sanctions to banks and having to do with oil and tariffs also.
We have heard it all before, of course. But there was more today. Could Russia's recent drone incursion into Poland, a NATO member, be a mistake, mused the US president. No, it could not. The curt response from Poland's Prime Minister today. The Kremlin saying today Russia remains open to peace talks, but they are on pause, blaming the West for the perceived impasse. In Kyiv itself, the UK's new Foreign Secretary, days into the role, meeting Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky as the UK imposed further sanctions on 70 ships and 30 companies suspected of illegally trading Russian oil and other goods.
In the end, Ukraine's security is our security. It's that on which Europe's stability and security depends, and that's why today we're announcing stronger sanctions on Russia, stronger economic pressure on Russia, as well as further support for the Ukrainian people.
By chance, it seems, one Prince Harry, also in Kyiv, his second visit to Ukraine during the war, raising money.
In the AI era, anything seems possible.
See me now.
From transforming industries
A desperate rush for cover as a grim record is broken.
Oh my God.
The biggest ever aerial attack right across Ukraine since the Russian invasion began. And another first, a strike right at the heart of government in Kyiv. The cabinet building, where ministers have offices, was hit by drones and missiles, setting it alight.
Ми бачимо наслідки цієї ворожої атаки. Локалізована пожежа на площі 800 метрів квадратних. Наші рятувальники продовжують тут працювати. І все виглядає таким чином, що Росія не готова.
And further out from the centre, heavily populated residential neighbourhoods of the capital blitzed.
Could be.
Yet another attack.
Could be on the
The two
west.
city districts of Donetsk and Sviatoshinsky have suffered the most.
And this despite Kyiv's good levels of air defences. Elsewhere in the country, there were further attacks. According to Ukraine, 805
they're
Russian
putting it out
drones
the
and
fire.
13 missiles were launched.
How
In
could you
Kyiv
destroy
alone,
the
4 people are
building?
dead, including a small child.
You gotta be careful.
More than 40 are injured. As the war grinds into its 43rd month, the Russian summer offensive has been edging into the area north of Pokrovsk, described as the hot point of the front line. Since the meeting in Alaska between President Trump and President Putin 3 weeks ago, intense attacks like last night's on what Russia claims are Ukraine's military and infrastructure targets have increased. Meanwhile, European leaders rallied round today to condemn the strikes.
Our job as the UK, and the job that we're playing, leading the coalition of the willing, preparing to secure a peace for the long term, and leading the contact group supporting Ukraine in the fight now, is to make sure that we reflect the will of the British people, united for Ukraine, determined to stand alongside Ukraine for as long as it takes.
But how long will it take? Ukraine continues to counterattacks on its territory with strikes on Russia. But progress on sanctions is what President Zelensky really needs from the US right now.
Are you ready to move to the second phase?
There's Donald Trump.
Against Russia, punishing
You see Donald Trump
A glimmer
robot?
of hope, perhaps, but that of a broken ceasefire seems as far off.
I
as
see
ever.
him.
Well, I'm joined now in the studio by the Ukrainian opposition MP Lesia Vashchenko. Thank you very much for coming in. Good to see you this evening. Just picking up on that point, President Trump ready to implement new sanctions. What do you make of that?
We are hopeful yet again, but there's very little details about when, what sanctions, which sectors of the Russian economy are going to be targeted, and how harshly are they going to be implemented at the end of the day, because it's very important to have mechanisms in place that will not allow for sanctions to be circumvented as they are now.
In an ideal world, what do you really need to hear from Trump right now?
Well, right now we need to hear a full commitment to supplying Ukraine with the weapons it needs to defend itself. We need full commitment on security guarantees. We need sanctions straight away that will impact the energy markets, that will hit hard on Russian oil and gas.
Yeah, you're off a nice one.
Basically any other sector of the Russian economy that allows Russia to still be standing, and not just standing, but to be making, mass-producing weapons that they then use to kill Ukrainians on a daily basis.
Just seeing the report from Sarah Bill there, we just saw the scale of all this. What is it like to look at that personally, and then also what is it like just to see how many drones were fired last night?
Well, last night was unprecedented. I wasn't in the country already, but 805 drones. Trust me, it's a lot. Just a couple of weeks back, we had another massive attack, and it was just impossible to sleep. Basically, all you do throughout the whole of the night is you keep guessing whether it's a drone, whether it's a missile, whether it's our air defense, or whether it's something that's about to hit your house, your building, your block.
And actually, what is that like for you and your family? What do you hear? And every moment you must be analysing what you're hearing.
The sad truth is we gotten used to that. It's extremely difficult because in the moment you are scared. You basically exist in fear and you're just praying. You turn to God even if you're not religious, and you're just praying to wake up alive next morning. And when my kids woke up during the last attack and they were asking me, Mum, what is this? When there were explosions going on around the house, I had to put the older two in the bathroom so that they would be protected by the double walls and so that they wouldn't be hearing the noise and wouldn't be asking the questions, so that they would at least go to sleep. With my third one, my toddler, who's 4 years old, I just hope she wouldn't wake up. So I was just hovering above her. And basically
that's probably all she's ever known as well. I've been reading that that was 800 drones, but actually in the autumn and in the winter, Russia could get to 2,000 drones. What would that look like, and what would that mean?
You see, tonight there was a hit, or actually this morning there was a hit.
So you're doing all right? Excuse me, Derek. 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 You feeling all right?
What?
You feeling all right?
Okay.
Yep. No.
Of the government building, that means that air defense is not strong enough to hit back on the attacks and to defend the capital city and the core of the capital city. Before this never happened, before the central part of Kyiv, especially the government quarters, were always well protected. But as Russia raises the numbers of the drones and the missiles that they attack with at one time, it's impossible for any air defense, or at least for the air defense that we have at the moment, to withstand these attacks.
So is your concern that that's just going to happen more and more frequently?
My concern is that we need to increase our air defenses. We need to close the Ukrainian skies. This is absolutely possible. This is an appeal we've been making as politicians from day one of the 2022 escalation of Russia's aggression, and we are hoping that the coalition of the willing will now be able to actually proceed on that and help Ukraine close its airspace and protect its airspace, completely sealing it off from Russian attacks.
You're here for government meetings in the next couple of days. You would have heard these statements. Starmer said these cowardly acts show Putin believes he can act with impunity. Now more than ever, we need to stand firm for our support for Ukraine. Are these statements enough? What will you be saying to government ministers behind the scenes about what needs to be done?
The statements are loud and clear, and we are grateful for the political support as always, but we need on-the-ground support. We need these statements to materialize into fighter jets, into ammunition, into the possibility of Ukrainian air defense to have enough capacity to withstand the attacks which are growing in number. And of course, we need these words to materialize into the weakening of Russia, because at the end of the day, it's Russia that is able to mass produce, not Ukraine and not any of the other European